the Sinnoh region. My favorite Pokémon region of all time. When I was 4 years old, the Gen 4 games were the first Pokémon games I've ever played. Today, 20 years later, I'm still a huge fan of Pokémon, and a few years ago, I discovered that I love the thrill of shiny hunting in the games I used to play. Although I already did a lot of things in these games, I still want to take it a step further. I want to create a save file on one of my Pokémon Platinum copies that I'm never going to delete ever again. In this save file, I'd like to try and do as many things that I still want to do in these games. This means that I'm going to shiny hunt certain Pokémon that I haven't hunted yet, as well as other things I haven't done yet, like the Battle Frontier, a place I couldn't even get to when I was younger. I might even try and complete national decks. I'm not too sure of all the things we'll certainly do yet, but what I do know is that this will be a very expansive playthrough of a game that is very dear to me. My name is Robot, and this is my Pokémon Platinum Forever Save. Last time, we did some cool and extremely fast shiny hunts in Eterna Forest, after which we defeated the second gym and dismantled the Team Galactic HQ. This episode, we will be mining, doing some story progression and some standing beside a random well, for about 20 minutes to be exact. After completing all the story beats in Eterna City, it was time to go south on Route 206, which has a huge bridge intended for bikers that runs across it. Luckily for us, we got a bike from the owner of the bike store in Eterna City, as a reward for saving him at the Team Galactic HQ. Consequently, I was able to go down this bridge now, defeating all the biking trainers that got in my way for some sweet XP gains. When I left Route 206, story progression already came to a halt, because we were now able to do a shiny hunt that I wanted to try for a long time. See, in Eterna Forest, I also had to get the Explorer Kit. This gives you the ability to go underground, a feature that is exclusive to the Generation 4 games. In the underground, you are able to find lots of cool treasures, like spheres, which you can use for trading, evolution stones, but also fossils. The last one was my main priority to get a lot of. See, I thought that Cranidos was an awesome Pokémon. Combine that with its crimson red shiny, and you have an amazing shiny hunt on your hands. To start hunting for shiny Cranidos, I had to get 5 skull fossils. Why 5, you may ask? The thing with hunting fossils in Generation 4 is that you can easily get in multiple Pokémon seen per soft reset. When you have a fossil, you can talk to the scientist behind the counter in the big white building in the northeast corner of Orberg City. The guy will then tell you to booger off for a bit. However, if you go outside and immediately inside again and talk to the scientist once more, he will be already done with reviving your fossil. So if you have 5 fossils to fill up your whole team with, you can repeatedly do this, and after having obtained the 5 fossil Pokémon of your liking, you can check them, reset if there is no shiny, and do it again, until you have got a shiny in your team. Now that I've gotten the basics of this method out of the way, let's talk about the process of the preparations and the hunt itself. Preparations were quite straightforward. I just had to do the digging minigame in the underground with the hopes of finding a skull fossil. In the end, I found the 5 skull fossils that I was looking for, and so the real hunt could finally start. Approximately the first 1000 resets of this hunt were quite doable. I was also streaming most of it, with sometimes doing some resets off stream. However, after around about the 2500 mark, I noticed that my motivation for the hunt, as well as other hunts, was dwindling. This is also why this episode took so long to be made, because during the whole of May, June and July, I just couldn't get myself to shiny hunt on a regular basis. It is unfortunately how my brain works. When I like something, I get intensely hyperfixated on it and I don't want to do anything else. But when this sort of fall off happens, some other thing will become my hyperfixation, and I just have to take a step back from the other thing, which in this case was shiny hunting. So long story short, please do bear with me while I do these hunts and playthroughs, because I love Pokemon and shiny hunting a lot, but I also want to keep it fun for myself. Alright, with all of that out of the way, let's get to the shiny. A couple of days ago, in the beginning of August, I went on a small trip to Belfast, Northern Ireland. Last year from January to May, I went there as well to study for my minor. This year, I went there to see most of the other international students again. It was lots of fun to be there again, and I would strongly recommend going to Northern Ireland as a whole. It has lots of amazing sightseeing locations, like the Giant's Causeway, but also a lot of history, like the Titanic being built in the harbour of Belfast. And not to forget, the very impactful Troubles that have spanned from the late 1960s up until the end of 1990s. I think you can find a lot of things about this, and I would strongly recommend doing so. When I was heading towards the airport to fly back to the Netherlands again though, I decided to do some resets for Cranidos. And lo and behold, shiny Cranidos finally shows up. I only have this small clip from at that time, unfortunately without my reaction, but it still was an amazing way to get it in my opinion, while also being an amazing way to end this trip to Belfast. So as you saw in the small clip before this one, I finally got shiny Cranidos. It was on a bit of a unexpected moment. I was in the bus heading towards the airport from a nice trip to Belfast. Yeah, shiny Cranidos. It's got a naughty nature, which means that it's an increased attack stat and a decreased special defense stat, so it's quite reasonable, I must say so. Of course not the adamant nature, but well, you know, beggars can't be choosers. Yeah, I'm quite tired, but I thought I just might as well get my first reaction, like sort of, and show you the nature and stuff a bit better. Yeah, very happy to get this way under odds as well. I took a bit of time for getting this, but you know, best things come late, I guess. So now I'll quickly show you the shiny sprite, the back sprite in battle. We've got a normal, non-shiny Machop, and then we've got Cranidos. Oh, well, that was a bit of a fill. That's Fleetwood. We already know who Fleetwood is. Let's quickly do the Cranidos. That's amazing. That looks so good. That looks so good. Oh man. And as you can see, consequently, I decided to name this Cranidos Cranberry as an homage to that band. I would also strongly recommend to give the Cranberries a listen. They have a lot of good music, from Zombie, which is about the troubles that happened in Ireland and Northern Ireland, but also things like Ode to My Family or Miss You When You're Gone, I think. Lots of good music, so I would definitely give it a listen. So yeah, in the end, Cranberry, the Cranidos, shiny Cranidos. Let's go. After getting home from the trip and resting up for a day, I planned on streaming the next bit of story that I had to go through. I got to Hearthome City, beat Fantina and her Miss Magius. I then beat Barry, who was waiting for me at the exit of Hearthome City. And then I continued on to Route 209. On this route, my next shiny hunt target was already present. Because at this random well, if you have an odd keystone and place it there, talk to 32 other players in the underground and come back to the well, Spiritomb will battle you and you'll be able to catch it and shiny hunt it as well. So I did that. First, we got this odd keystone from this random guy on Route 208. Then we went back and placed it. And after that, I let both of my games talk to each other in the underground. This last activity was quite tedious, however it was needed to get a really cool shiny in the end. After doing all that, I was set to shiny hunt. Because of that, I wanted to make a small start on the same stream. But I couldn't even predict what would happen next. Yeah, I'll just show you the clip, because it will speak for itself. Dat is het taaie. Mega on top, it makes sense. Ja, 100%. Eens. Eens. Het is lastig, man. Hey, thanks voor de follow, No. Dankjewel, man. Mega Metagross? Ja, die is vet. Die is vet. 100%. Shinies. Dit? Nee, dit is Spiritomb. Oh! Wat? Wat? ...58 encounters! Hoe dan? Hoe dan? Ik ben net begonnen! Ik ben net begonnen! Ik ga gewoon een Pokéball gooien, denk ik. Hoe vind je die? Pokéball go! 1. Oef. Paint attack. Oké. Oh, dat doet veel damage.
Now that's a lot of damage!
Pursuit. Geen crit. Oké, perfect. We gaan gewoon Pokéballs gooien, denk ik. Ja, maar... Dit ding heeft een kans dat ik gewiped word, hè? Dat moeten we wel even onthouden. Dit ding heeft zeker een kans om mij te hemel te wipen. 10%, 10%, 13%. Kan die vliegen? Nee, nee, nee. 1, 2, 3. Oh! Daar is hij. Oh, we got it. We got it. The forbidden Pokémon Spiritomb. I'm going to save. Well, let's do the nature guess. I'm going to switch to English real quick because I want to make a YouTube video out of this as well. So for the people that are Dutch here, I'm going to quickly change my... I'm going to change my my language. So we already got... Yesterday I got shiny Cranidos after like 3,500 resets in like a time span of like 4 months. Now we got shiny... So this is Cranidos, Cranberry. We didn't even have the time to evolve it. And now we have shiny Spiritomb. Also on the main file. On the main file as well. After 58 resets. How are we pulling this? So chat, let's do some predictions, I guess. Let's do some predictions. It has 92 physical, 92 special attack. So you can build it into both sides. Very balanced. So I hope either adamant. I hope adamant or modest. So I'll go with what Noah is saying as well. Adamant or modest. 3, 2, 1. It's a mild. It's a mild. Ooh. Increases special attack, decreases defense. Ooh, that's still very good. In terms of like that attack then. Oh, that's amazing. That's insane. That's insane. There you have it, folks. Shiny Spiritomb. Post-editing robot here. I totally forgot to give the Spiritomb a name. after I caught it. So I've just done that, and I decided on the name Death 13 for the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fans. They will know what this means. Death 13 is the stand from the baby in part 3 that was like sleeping, and then JoJo's fans, they will know what kind of weird stuff happened in this episode. It was very strange. However, the stand looked very cool, sort of like a clown, and I just thought it was a very fitting name for Spiritomb, being the forbidden Pokemon. So yeah, Death 13, the Spiritomb. So 58 soft resets. I still don't know how that happened, but I guess we'll take it. After capturing this wonderful shiny, I also continued on to Route 210 and 215. There was no real story progression here, except for the fact that I finally would end up in Hearthome City. So I just beat all the trainers there for the XP gains and called it a day when I reached Hearthome. And that's all for this episode. I was not expecting this episode being this packed with shinies and stuff. However, with Shiny Spiritomb appearing this fast, I just wanted to include it in this episode already. Next time though, you will see me beating the Hearthome City gym, as well as looking for a new potential shiny hunt. Lots more to come, if I must say so myself. Do you want to see more of my shiny hunts or other content? Come on by at twitch.tv/robot, with 2 lower cases. I play lots of different games over there, as well as live shiny hunts. Also consider joining the Discord. We have a nice community that would love to welcome you. For now, thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in the next episode.